Hi, my name is Felix Valencia. In this program, we'll be doing what is known as full-speed takedowns, starting from long to medium range. My assistants will be going at me at full speed. I'll be going over scenarios and how to take them down and the possibilities of them countering and for me to recounter also. So let's get started and enjoy the tape. In this first technique, I'm going to start from simplicity of full speed takedowns and go more difficult techniques. Now Matt over here is going to go with a straight thrust to me. What I'm going to do is known as the lazy man technique. All I'm just going to do is slap it with my hips turned and return and hitting the side of the blade with my forearm. So actually what I'm doing is actually hitting the groin, coming back up and turning his elbow, using that as a chicken wing, hold on to it, give him some knees, and then take him down. We'll bring up the speed a little bit. And all you have to remember is just very lazy technique is parry, and then hit it with the back of your forearm. Just 1, 2. And just think hip, 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 hip. Okay? So with Matt, hip, hip. Oh, wait. Let me go ahead and show you again at full speed. Matt's going to go 1, 2, go. Yeah. Go. Let me go ahead and show you some do's and don'ts on this. Let me have Matthew point it for this side. When he comes in, you go hip and you disarm it here. You go to the groin to get the bend you want for this. Just pop it right here so you get the bend. Snake this over, drop your weight down so his head goes down. From here you could incorporate the knees. You go from foot, spin him here, go into a wrist lock, control right here, or even an arm control right here, an elbow break. Let's say, for example, in the perfect world, you miss disarming it with your forearm. So you've been able to parry it, but you missed it. You could still go into this. We call it figure 4 lock. Hold on to it. He can't reach you as long as you got the bend. And then the thumb of rule is never let his head go over your belly. That means he's still in the comfort zone. Have his head go downward so he can't think. He's in pain. You can incorporate the knees, go into a spin, control the knife. From here, you can go into a disarm. And you've got him here. In everything I do, I like to challenge my students. And right now, I'd like to challenge you. We're going to escalate a little bit more, go to a little bit of a hard technique. But it's not really hard if you really think about it. What Alan's going to do is attack me with straight thrust. And what I'm going to do is redirect his energy. Reason why, if Alan thrust to me and I parried, his energy could still go that way. And he could still get a slash off me. So what I want to do is go redirect it. Go 1 and then 2. That way, if I caught him here on the outside and I have to go here, the possibility of him cutting me in the stomach is great. So I want to do it before I even pass. So I'm going to go 1, 2. Now I'm in the safe zone. My stomach's cleared. He can't redirect the energy because his energy is taken out this way. I'm going to put my ankle to ankle with him and just pull him down. Now from here, I'm going to pin his hand, have this elbow high, hit the face, tuck his arm under, leg over. From here, both feet are up. This is leverage. Stay still, and this kicks out for an arm break. You could hit, elbow, headbutt. You could do all kinds of things from here, but you have the main control. Keep your hand around his neck. If you keep it here, all Alan has to do is grab this shoulder and pull me over, and I'm in trouble. This way, if he does it now, I can slap the ground. He can't turn me over. Okay? At any time, you could still add leverage. Just remember to keep this elbow here with this leg. This is your leverage leg. Keep the elbow here and keep putting pressure on. If you notice, by his body language, it's a lot of pain. Let me go ahead and show you what it looks like at full speed. If you notice, I'm having my assistants throw nothing but feed me nothing but thrust. We're gonna go slashes, backhand slashes, and ice picks. The moment I'm gonna have him do a thrust to me, and what I'm gonna incorporate now is simplicity. So when he comes in, 1, 2, backhand. Now from here, if you notice, I have my knee on his hand. Once you put the weight down, look what happens. Now some of the do's and don'ts on this is you could go for a one shot where you stop, punch. You could go for a double pass. Doesn't matter. Depends on your speed and your ability and what you feel is correct in rhythm. Now when you hold for an anchor, use his bicep for leverage for you, just to jump up in the air. Now, if you have bad knees, you could just lower him down and use this instead. Another point is, don't go with the bend. If you put your knee here, guess what? It gives. So he could still have his own balance. But if you go to the beginning of the forearm, that's where the pain really starts. Okay, so I'll have Matthew come in. Yeah. The other angle? Yeah. Okay. Go. Let me go ahead and show you from another angle. One of the techniques my late teacher told me, Edgar Soliti, was this, just hugging. And I asked him how dangerous could that be, and I made a big mistake by him showing it to me. I was gonna thrust. When he does this, I'm just gonna go 1, tuck it under, hug, and torque my hips. As you can see, that was a lot of pain, and if it was full speed, it would be a break. So from here, I'm gonna have Alan come in, 1, 2, torque my hips. Right after you do this, you have groin shots, face, and then takedowns. Go. Some of the do's and don'ts in this technique is don't underestimate his reach. You've got to be, once he comes in, you got to tuck it, underarm right clamp down on his wrist. Go into a straight hug. If you go, a lot of people like to do, and right here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a V right here. You want it tight, clamming up together. So when you do move, it doesn't give a lot, okay? And when you do the groin shot, it's obviously right here, face, you can capture right behind the head, leg, you can spin them, you can do whatever you want from here. Arms extended, so you could just still put leverage right here on him. And you could disarm at any time. Now remember, in these takedowns, you could also incorporate it into an empty hand technique. So all it just takes is dropping the hand, him making a fist, and then incorporate the technique. So what Matt's going to do is do a slash, a 1 slash, right to my temple or to my throat. When he does this, I'm going to do a double pass, check, turn his chin, and take him down here. Now, if you notice, what I'm doing is it actually looks, when I turn the chin, my hand is on his very lower spine, the very last tailbone. And what I'm doing is a 50-50 push. So when it does it, he almost does a matrix on this. And I'll show it from here, here. And all I have to do is get 50-50. And that's a takedown. Now, if you notice, I don't control the knife, but what happens after is once you go one here, I have a choice. I could leave my knee behind. Boom. Ooh, you okay? Yep. Okay. Okay. Or 1, 2. When I check him, I clear it. 1. Step on the knife and go into this. Let me go ahead and go over the scenario with this takedown. When Matt does a slash, and I go 1, 2, turn him, check. Now you have choices. Leaving your knee behind, you could hit the back, or take him down and crack the head. Boom, right here, knock him out. There's also other ways of controlling the knife hand if you don't like the way he's still loose. Is 1, 2. When you take him here, expand. So right here, it's still a break. His neck is here, and all you need to do is stretch him out more, and then break the arm. And also break the neck. Let me go ahead and show you this technique. Even though we did it with a knife, let me show you empty-handed. Now I'll keep the knife. I'll have Matt punch me. So when he's right here, it's still. Let me go ahead and slow it down a bit. When he throws the punch, I parry, turn the chin, check the lower spine, and push. Take him down. Try to use this as an anchor, so you can use so many things with this. You can hurry up and get into a wrist lock, go into a straight arm behind your shoulder, your both knees, weights down. He can't try to counter you, and if he does, drop the weight down more. Turn this more. A lot of people like to do eye jabs. There's some technique and some minute techniques that you could incorporate into this. Now the mentality is when it's even a straight line or even a slash, you're going to drop and torque your hips so the energy goes that way, palm up, and get him in this way. So Alan will come in, I'll go 1, 2. Now people say, do you want to use your fingers, open palm, fist? It doesn't really matter. I just like doing whatever feels correct at the time. If I want to get to the eye, maybe I want to go straight and go straight to the throat, or even with an over finger jabs, or even over palm to break the nose. So in these techniques, it doesn't matter what you use, but you got to remember it's going so fast that you have to have the reach. So Alan will come again. Okay, now let me get Alan to go full speed with me. If you notice, he still has the knife in his hand. Now, you've got a few choices. You can stay in the fight or take off. And my choice, if I don't have the knife controlled, I'd rather just take off. But if I can't run away from him, I've got to hurry up and stay in the fight. So, few options here. First one, when Alan comes in, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, take. Second option, 1, 2, go. This next technique, I call it the stand-up choke out. So when Matt's coming with a slash at me, I'm going to come and parry the elbow, go into a hug. Again, the mentality of my wrist to my elbow is a stick. So I'm going to go across his throat, the side of his neck, grab my wrist, head to head so he can't headbutt me, and squeeze down. Okay. Now the only thing is, you can't hang around. Why? Because he could switch hands if he's still let's say conscious. So you don't want to give him time to think about anything. You want to hurry up, take him down, and then go control the knife hand. So this is how it looks. Once he comes in, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. You might have noticed he laid the knife right on my wrist. These things happen all the time. You got to expect him to flail. Once you go here, you take him down, boom, he's going to flail, so you have to control the knife hand. Look for it as fast as you can. When he does this, he's flailing, you can grab the wrist, go across his throat. That way, if he does, you can always sit over and choke him out this way. Okay, now we're going to go full speed with this. We're going to go after something really exciting right now. It's against the ice pick attack. Now, it's really intricate, so we're going to go break it down a little bit for you to a final finish. Then we'll go full speed. Now, Alan's going to attack me with an ice pick. I have two choices in how to catch this. I'm going to go for a double pass, which is first one's a parry, open-handed, and I'm going to bump with my forearm, this, and catch his wrist, and then anchor the bicep. The other way of catching it is I step out and go into a double grab. Now when you do a double grab, go palm up, palm down. Never the same side. Palm down, palm down. Why? It's too easy to counter. You need something, again, right here, palm up, palm down. Now he'll try to counter it. He can't slap it away that easily. Okay. Now once I'm here, I'm going to push this knife hand in between his legs with my head right behind it. And I'm going to do a shoulder tuck and roll. So when I go down, my head goes down, my knee goes down, and I'm just going to go into a tuck and roll. Him over me. I roll up, and if you notice, what I'm cutting is the inside artery. Now I know his face is, it isn't a fatal one yet. It takes a while for him to bleed out. But once I slap the face, and I want control of him, I then sandwich his head here, pick up his arm, from right here, and go into what is known as a chicken wing. So I've got control of a wrist, or I turn. Okay? At any moment, I could disarm it from here and hold on to the knife. Let me go ahead and pick up the pace a little bit. Let me give you some do's and don'ts. Don't anticipate, let the energy come down. When you do this, push away from you. Go into grab, use this as an anchor. Now a lot of people like to just dive in there. When you can make it simple, just drop your knee, knife right in between the legs, head right behind it. When you go in, make sure this is hooked, and make sure the knife is in the inside leg. Once you got the inside artery cut, turn the head. Double pass. Now the face has to be down. If it's face up, he can still bite you in between the legs. Now bend this up, and you've got your chicken wing. Now there's a few options to this. You got a wrist lock, he'll tap. You could turn, we call this chicken wing, or you could simply just break his neck from here. Let's go to the ice pick, a more simple technique. Now in this technique, you are going to get cut, but it's going to be on the outside of your forearm. This technique is by him attacking you, you want to go palm up, catch the inside. If you notice, the blade is right on my forearm. But he's not going to get a very good cut, but he's going to get somewhat of a superficial cut, and you rotate palm down to go palm up, scoop it. It comes right out of your hand. Now for drilling purposes, if you want to get the timing and rhythm on this, I'm going to feed it back to Alan. He's going to do the same thing. And it comes right into his hand. And then he does it to me. And you could incorporate your eye jabs into this at any time. You could incorporate a punch. You could incorporate an elbow. It all depends on what you want to do at the time. Back fist, groin shot, slap. So even a kick, okay? Now these are just for drilling purposes. Now we're going to go a little bit harder. Okay. Now he will come in, and then from here. Now if I come in and he tries to stop me, I'm going to lift up my hand and just spin. So once he comes in, it'll be 1, 2, hit, lift, spin. Now, in a perfect world, there's the 1, 2. One of you, he misses the first one, he comes back with a backhand ice pick. So he's going to go forward, he misses, backhand. It's the same mentality. You catch the wrist, it's going to cut you here on the outside, but you go palm up, and the knife hand comes out, and take it from there. Okay? Same thing with Alan. I'm going to feed him 1, 2, palm up. He's going to just do it back to me, and we're going to go 1, 2, and right here I could go for eye jab, palm up. I'm going to do it to him, 1, 2. There you go. He's going to do it back to me, 1, 2. Now from here, if you notice, once I got him here, I could do so many things. I could go pull, push back into him. I get into a wrist lock from here, using the knife. So there's all kinds of options going from here, backhand. Okay. And then there's also the forward hand. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to go forward, one strike. Get it on first, 1. Get it on the first. Get it on the first. Get it on first. Get it on second. 1, 2. Get it on second. 1, 2. Okay. Now I got this one technique from the Indonesian martial arts, Pencak Silat. One of my grandmasters showed me this technique and I liked it, and I incorporated it with some shoot. What Matthew's going to do is do a slash at me. I'm going to stop it. I could even incorporate an eye jab. I'm going to go ankle to ankle, inside his knee, drop. Now when I go up, I collect his leg and I step. Now again, the mentality of my wrist to my elbow, cross right where the beginning of his calf muscle is. Now look what happens. A lot of pain into this. Now I could even turn it a little bit and it goes right into the bone. You okay? Yep. Okay. And anytime, if he does give me a hard time, I just add more. I push the knee if I want to. I could disarm it from here by going here, push, go over, and get into a reverse. You okay? Okay. Remember that one? Oh. Okay. Now the do's and don'ts on this. A lot of people forget to go ankle to ankle and drop. They just hurry up and go into this. Think he's going to come down. If he has big legs and strong and he's basically in a horse stance, he won't go. So you need leverage. So we're going to cut the leg in half by doing this and collecting. If you do this right, you always collect the leg. Step right on the wrist and go up. The higher he is, the harder it is chance for him to go anywhere. Now by doing this, you add in the pain. You want to turn him a little bit so he can't kick out that easily. Okay? This leg might kick you to the face, which he'll try. And then you got to watch out for that because your face is vulnerable. You have nowhere to block it. That's why I push the knee this way so he could block it. Okay, and give the energy down to the ground. Okay, he can't do anything with that knife hand, and I'm putting weight down here. Okay, let's go full speed with this. Here. Now the do's and don'ts on this. If you notice what I did when he came slashing, you easily knock the wind out of him by doing a palm strike to his chest, going from here, dropping, going under. And right here, you could still hold on to this. He's still strong. Pin it down now. You want to do it right on the forearm or the wrist. When you put the pressure on his calf muscle, turn his knee so he can't kick you to the face. Make sure it's bent right here. To make it even worse, drop your knee here. So it's you've got all limbs covered except for this one right here. And that's it. And if he does reach for you, then you've got all limbs covered and you start hitting. Let me give you a different angle. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, punches, 7, grab, and then hit. Now, in a perfect world, all things happen. If he comes crashing, let's say you controlled him, his limb, the knife hand. So when he comes for a slash, you hit him still. But now, he's not dazed. He's coming in even harder and coming for a hug. From here, what you want to do is palm up, go palm up and hold. From here, what I want you to do is get squared up and don't think about hip tossing at a high line. These are the do's and don'ts. Don't do it from here. If I do it from here, he's still anchored. His weight is distributed to the ground. You want to go straight back, all the way back, and then turn. Pin, and then up. Let me go ahead and show you how to do this without your partner. Once you get into a hug, you go palm up, double-handed. Don't think about hip tossing the high line, which is up here. You want your head to challenge yourself, barely touching the mat, all the way back, and then turn. Once you pin, knee on top of the arm, and get ready for a hitting position. Okay. I'll use Alan. Okay, we'll go into this, hold, and again, I'm going to go from here, drop all the way back, turn, pin, and then go. Let me go ahead and go full speed with Alan. So Alan will come in, boom, hug, boom. Let me go ahead and give you from another angle, Alan. Alan will attack, boom. Let me go ahead and give you the mentality of, let's say, the mai, in Japanese terms also. I don't know what it is in Tagalog, but there's only the tip of the blade. And you know, once you realize Matthew does a forward slash, he knows he's within reach of slicing my face. So what I want to do is, when he slashes, I step back. Now he passes the center line, I know he's got to come back. So you anticipate this right here. Okay? So in a perfect world, it'll be a 1-2 sometimes instead of a 1. Sometimes we're not in distance to hurry up and close the line with them, or hurry up and close the gap. Sometimes we have to let him commit past a first slash, and we get closer to the second slash. So Matthew goes 1, 2, 1, 2. Now what I simply did was a figure 4. When he went backhand, 1, all I did was jam it, stop the elbow, stop the wrist, break the bridge. And what we mean by breaking the bridge is collapsing this arm, turning and grabbing. And from here, half circle with this leg and take his energy, this wrist, down to the ground. There's all kinds of intricacies in these techniques. For example, when he comes backhand 1, 2, you could actually go into this, give it back to him. You go from here, go into a straight arm, and then go into a come along. So the figure 4 opens up a lot of opportunity to go into other locking techniques also, not just a throwing technique. So when he goes into a 1 and then a backhand 2, boom, you could go into eye jab, figure 4. Watch out for your training partner though. When you do this, his knife could go into his eye, so watch out for this. Be nice, remember what I said, be nice to your training partner. You could actually eye jab and then drop him and then over his head for training purposes. If you want to disarm, he could actually use his own neck to disarm it and then go into a straight arm break. So as you can see from a figure 4, it opens up a lot. Now people ask me, can you do it from a forward slash? Yeah, definitely. Remember I showed you the bump? 1, 2, and then from here. instead. So you have choices into catching in the first strike, which is this, or go into the second strike, which is 1, 2, and go. So the figure 4 does open the door to a lot of other techniques. We're going to go ahead and go a little bit full speed on this one. So Matthew's going to attack me. 1, 2. This is one of my favorite techniques, and the only thing is you can't go full speed with your partners on this unless they're skinny guys. Only because the tendons in the shoulders are, if they're big muscled, you're going to be tearing muscle and tearing out the shoulder. I'm going to use Matt here. Come on in, Matt. Now I know Matt's flexible, so once he comes in with a slash, I'm going to hit the face. Elbow is going to go over the arm. Remember about breaking the bridge? It's straight right now, so I'm going to brand right here. This hand will go to that side of the shoulder. So I'm going to reverse it and grab from here. I have a lot of choices. I could disarm it from here. What about here? Slash, take him down, or just throw the knife away. Turn the chin, leave the knee behind, and break from here. Okay? One of the things in this technique is once he comes in, 1, 2, right here, is don't, if you want to make him suffer a little bit, stand up straight. The shoulder is literally being popped out, so, or being torn. So look at the body language on him. It isn't a fun thing. So those are the options with this. Let me go ahead and show it to you again. Once he comes in, boom, you want to work inside. You could elbow over the arm, drop your weight down, and think of this mentality really quick in getting to this part of the body. Now, if you notice, he's comfortable right now, but when I stand up straight, it isn't a good thing. His muscles are literally being torn in the shoulder, or the socket's being pulled out. Let me go ahead and show you from another angle. Matt's going to attack. I'm going to hit, and I'm going to go grabbing this side of the chest. From here, you can do anything you want. Take down, turn the chin, take him down, make him hit your knee, or stand up straight and make him suffer a little bit more. Now, there is counters to this. If he tenses up, if you got a guy that straight arms it, so you go here and he tenses up and he doesn't let you bend. Now, what I'm going to do is grab the inside seam of his pants right here as an anchor, and I'm just going to sit down, and that'll break the arm. Let me give you a little warning. You may not want to practice this, and definitely don't practice this full speed from the get-go. Get to know this technique, build the confidence, and you could tell which guy could take, which student or training partner could take the pain. Again, don't go full speed. Just go slow. You'll see the body language of this. Hi, I'm Matt. We're going to try a medium to full speed. I'd like to thank you for watching this program. I also want to remind you what full speed means. Full speed means control, confidence, and you've gone through it slowly, and your training partner you haven't hurt. Remember, if you hurt your training partner, you're only going to be able to do this by yourself. It's kind of hard to do it. So methodically walk it through, build the confidence, and go ahead and go full speed as long as you're safe. Thank you.